Hello there. So we're back in my sewing room, and today I would like to make a summer dress using this shirt as the template. I've made this shirt just a few days ago and I absolutely love it. It's super comfortable, flowy, A-line, and I think it will make the perfect template for a summer dress. Today I'm starting with the shirt pattern used to make my black embroidery top, which I will adapt into a dress. If you haven't seen the video of how I made that beautiful black shirt, check it out in the link above. I want to make a couple of adjustments to the shirt pattern. First, I'm going to bring up the armhole slightly. Then I want to create a front and back yoke. My thought is that building in a yoke will allow me to place the pattern of the fabric going in different directions between the yoke and the main dress, which will give it a little bit more visual interest, especially since I'm using a kind of basic plain fabric that just has vertical lines on it. By creating a yoke, I'm essentially breaking the front and back dress into two pieces. Initially, I had planned to draft the skirt piece in a simple A-line shape, mimicking the shirt. But now that the skirt is separate, I decided to add a bit more detail and added 2 pleats in the front and 1 in the back. I made the skirt panels simple rectangles, which will make them easy to attach, and by gathering the fabric into the pleats at the yoke, the chest circumference will be a bit smaller than the hem, which is essentially an A-line silhouette. Another thing I didn't plan for initially was a lining, but once I got the pattern pieces cut out and held them up to the light, I realized that I wanted to add a lining at the yoke, which I cut out of the same fabric. I was really happy with this decision because it makes for a much nicer finished garment, albeit a bit trickier to sew together, but we'll get to that. I'm making this dress out of 1.5 meters of shirting fabric, which I found last time I was in Paris in the discount bin outside of one of the big fabric shops near Montmartre. I think I paid $7.50 for the whole piece, which was quite a deal because it's a pretty good quality fabric. While I'm happy with the quality of the fabric, I'm a bit concerned that even with the yoke and the pleats, it will still be a bit visually boring. So I go digging around in my sewing room for ideas, and voila! I find this auburn cotton fabric, which I found in the same discount bin last time I was in Paris. I think this one was even cheaper. And I remember thinking when I bought them that they complemented each other, so I go about thinking how I could incorporate the auburn fabric into this project. I decided to insert 2 squares of the fabric, one into the front yoke and one into the bottom of the back skirt. If you want to learn more about how I do this fabric insertion, watch my video about making the Team USA 4th of July shirts as I walk through it in detail. I'll put the link above. In the end, I'm not sure how I feel about these square additions. Sometimes less is more. I think I like the one in the back the most. It kind of looks like a QR code, I guess, but I'm not sure about the one in the front. It's kind of giving a bit of quilting, patchwork, dress your grandma made you for Easter vibe. But hey ho, you live and learn and all that. Now that we've got all of the pieces cut out and sufficiently modified, it's time to construct. As anyone who's ever done it can attest, attaching a fully lined sleeveless bodice can be a bit tricky, but very doable if you take your time and line up the pieces, and always double check before you sew. Remember, measure twice, cut once. The process for attaching the lining and the front bodice is as follows. First, trim the lining armholes, front and back, down by about 3 centimeters. This slight modification means that when the armhole is sewn together, the lining fabric will pull the self fabric in slightly, which gives a nice rolled edge and means that the lining is not visible. Next, attach the necklines, the front to the front lining and the back to the back lining. Now, since my back is actually open and therefore in 2 pieces, I have to do this twice for the back. Next, attach the shoulder seams by putting front and backs together, right sides facing, and front and back linings together, also right sides facing. Next, use the burrito method to attach the armholes. Do one side at a time. Lastly, you want to attach at the side seams. In my case, I still had to attach the back skirt to the back yoke, which I did just before sewing up the side seams. The last few steps are to finish the lining yokes on the inside, sew the button and loop on the back, and hem. For the lining yokes, I attached them with a slip stitch by hand while watching clips of Scottish comedian Kevin Bridges. That guy is hilarious. And that's it. Here's the final look. If you've enjoyed this video, check out another episode in my Sew It From Scratch series in the link above. Until next time!